Hey everybody, today we're going to show you in real time how we make this spiral ornament. With the exception of moving to workstations and the finish process or the drying time for the finish, this is going to be a real-time video on the process of making this. So let's head out to the shop and we'll get started. Okay, so we're out at the shop now. We're going to start with laying out the pattern. Products that we're using, obviously our pattern for this spiral ornament. So we've got a center line here. This needs to be placed onto the block of wood perfectly. Other words, your ornament's going to come out crooked. So what we've done is taken a piece of 2x2 spruce and we've just cut it down on the table saw to 1 3/8. We've got a nice square edge here, and that's where the center of the pattern is going to line up. Then all we're going to do is just take our stick glue, glue the pattern up, and lay it on the block. Okay, so it's glued. We take our square edge, line it up so the pattern is dead center on that edge. Press it down and we'll go over to the drill press. And we're going to do the blade entry holes and the hole for the hangers. We're using a 5/32" drill bit for this. So there's 4 blade entry holes. Alright, so we've got the holes drilled out, 4 blade entry holes, and the hole at the top for the ribbon. Let's go to the scroll saw and we'll start cutting. Okay, so we're at the scroll saw. Guys, just so you know, this is a Roy Forsyth pattern. We're working on the Dewalt 788 scroll saw, and the blade we're using today is a number 9 Flying Dutchman Ultra Reverse. So let's get cutting. We're going to start with the 4 inside cuts first. Remember when you're cutting material this thick that you've got a lot of downforce on it so it doesn't start jumping around on you? The first cut always takes the longest simply because we're going through that 1 3/8" material. But once we've got the first cut done, we'll knock that block out, the waste out of it, and we'll create a hollow in the block. And the rest of the cuts will go a little bit faster. Okay, so we'll take the first piece out, scrap, and we'll just continue with the other 3 inside cuts. scrap. And there we are so far. Okay, one more inside cut to do. So our inside cuts are done, and now we'll start with the first outside cut. All right, so first outside cut's done. If you guys can see, The inside block is moving around, it's loose in there. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna flush it back in and tape the block up tight before we do the last cut. And that's just to ensure that that inside block isn't moving around and causing the ornament to look distorted or uneven. So we're just using masking tape. Squeeze the block back together. Push everything flush. And add a little bit more tape because that's not enough. So we'll do 2 pieces. Make sure everything's flush and tight. Okay, so blocks taped up. We're going to do the last cut now. Okay, so that's the cuts done. So 4 inside cuts and 2 outside cuts. Then we'll just break this apart. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's what we get out of the center. So there's your ornament. So now we're gonna move on and just start sanding this. So what we start off with is 80 grit sandpaper, and that's just to get inside, smooth out the cut marks, get rid of some of the burrs or the fuzzies. And we're just gonna go in, start the inside first. This doesn't take very long. We're just breaking the edges and cleaning off the fuzzies. All the inside cuts. Like I said, guys, you're seeing this the whole process. So if you don't want to watch me sanding, feel free to fast forward a little bit. I have tried doing this, cleaning these up with a Dremel, and it just makes a big mess of it. So it's either it can be done, just not by me, or it can't be done and just do it by hand, like what I do. So once we're done the inside, What we'll do, like I said, we're using 80 grit sandpaper. Once we're done the inside, we go over the entire, we go on the outside, and then we switch over to 220 grit sandpaper, and that's just to smooth everything out. Again, guys, this is a Roy Forsyth pattern. And if you missed it at the beginning there, we're using spruce, so a nice soft wood, easy to cut. And the reason we're using spruce is because I'm tinting these ones, this one blue. So we use a nice white wood for that. When we go in the house shortly to our finish station, I will show you how we tint and do our finish on these. Remember not to use too much pressure when you're sanding any of your compound cut ornaments, or you'll just snap them. Okay. Take the sharp point off, and we'll go over it with a 220 grit just to smooth everything off. So that's the outside. Do the inside also. Okay, and there we have it. That's sanded down nice. What we're gonna do now is get ready to go into the shop, guys. So the next process is the finishing. So we'll be right back. Okay, so we're down in the finish station and I'm in the house. Guys, so what we're gonna do here now is we're gonna dip the ornament. Product we're using is Minwax water-based polyurethane clear gloss. We've also got powdered food coloring. So this is a blue powdered food coloring. So what we've done with this, guys, is we've just gotten a clear container, filled it up with some of this polyurethane, added the powdered food coloring till we got to the tint that we wanted, mixed it in very well, so thoroughly, and that's what we're gonna dip the ornament in. So let's get started. So we're just gonna take our ornament, dip it in, ribbon side or hanger side first. Guys, to hang this for drip drying, all I took was a bobby pin and just bent it so that I could hang it up on a hook. So we'll start off here, we just dip it in. Let some of that come off. And we'll stick the bobby pin through. And dip the bottom end in. Let some of the excess drip off. And then we're going to hang it up to dry. So before you walk away from this, obviously you can see there's a lot of polyurethane still dripping off. We're going to let that drip for a couple minutes. But before we leave it to dry, we're just gonna go through and just keep collecting this material off of here because we don't want a big gob of dried polyurethane at the bottom of the ornament. So just collect the excess, it'll slowly stop dripping, like so. and we're just gonna let it sit there and hang. So guys, we'll come back when this is dry and we'll show you the second coat. Okay, so it's been a couple of hours now. Let's take this down. And what we're gonna do here, guys, is take the hook out of it, and we're gonna go over this with a 220 grit sandpaper inside and out and sand this. It's quite rough from the first coat, so we just want to smooth everything out. We're going to take a little bit of this dye off, or the tint off, but that's okay. It's going to get a second coat on it. By sanding it with the 220 grit sandpaper, we're smoothing everything out, and it's just going to make the second coat very shiny and smooth. Isn't that's the effect that we're going for, because it is an ornament, so we want it to be shiny. So just go over it. We don't want to sand too much, otherwise we're going to go right down to bare wood again. But it's more just to just smooth it out. Any burrs that we might have missed or fuzzies we might have missed. You can see that it's lightening up. Get inside. Okay, so that's that. Sanding's done. So let's do a second dip. Same process as the first time, guys. We'll let it drip a bit. Make sure that we're getting it in. I'm running a little low on my volume of this, so we'll just let it drip. And the same as the first coat, we're going to hang it up and let it dry. Second coat takes a little bit longer to dry. So again, just let it hang there. Let the excess material drip off, and then we'll collect what we can off of this before it starts to harden up. Again, because we do not want a big gob or a ball of polyurethane dried at the bottom of the ornament. So let it dry, collect the material, just like so. The big thing is just make sure you don't walk away from it when it's still dripping. Okay, so we'll just continue doing that, and we'll come back and do the final process of putting this ornament together. All right, so second coat is now dry. So we'll do the final step here. So we'll take it off the hanger. There it is. Guys, what we're using now is a 10mm jump ring and a nice little silver piece of ribbon. So all we're going to do is open this jump ring up, feed the ornament through it, and then we'll close it up again, just like so. Feed a ribbon through. Tie it through a knot. Give it a little tug, and we're done. So that's it, guys. That's the whole process on how we make those Roy Forsyth spiral ornaments. Hope you liked this video. I know it was probably a little dragged out, but that's the whole process in how long it takes to do these things. If you like this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. We're trying to build this thing up, and look forward to doing some more videos for you guys. Thank you very much for watching.